I wanted to start off this morning using an American poet and novelist, Langston Hughes. And I quote him to have said, "What happens to a dream deferred?" It is a question now facing millions all over the world, especially young people. Why? Because of poverty, because of excessive inequality. Let us concentrate on the European Union. Now, what has driven inequality across generations in Europe? There are many dimensions, many, including wealth, including gender discrimination, but I want to take a closer look at income. Income declined for young people after 2007. Due to what? Predominantly unemployment. But they have since generally recovered. For those who are 65 and older, incomes have increased since the crisis. Why is that? Because pensions were better protected. Youth in Europe have amassed the highest debt relative to their assets of any age group. And that means that many young people are going to be vulnerable to the next financial shocks and are putting off investing in their future. In short, those dream deferred that we were talking about, they've put them on hold. But incomes are only part of the story. Poverty is the other side of it. Before the global financial crisis, the relative poverty of the 18 to 24 and the older, that is 65 and over, was similar. Since the crisis, the gap has massively developed. The reality is that 1 in 4 young people in Europe now live below the relative poverty line. The incomes are below 60% of the median. And in Europe, unemployment, of course, rose during the crisis of working age populations. But youth unemployment started high and spiked to 24% in 2013. Today, it has improved a bit. Nearly 1 in 5 young people in Europe, though, 1 in 5, cannot find work. And we know that there is a connection between unemployment and inequality. If anything, it's probably the first big inequality. Lost wages, lost savings can be extremely difficult to recover later in life. For those young people who are still looking for work, the problem does not even end when they find a job. Why is that? Because what has happened is that they've had long periods of unemployment. You know, the forever stage, the forever internship, the non-remunerated experience. Well, that can lead to scarring, scars that are left with them. And it means ultimately a lower probability of employment and lifelong depressed wages. Instead of dreams deferred, instead of dreams on hold, we're talking maybe about dreams buried. But it's not just unemployment that has led us to that point. Underemployment and temporary contracts, as I said, became prevalent during the crisis. The rise of the so-called gig economy exacerbated the problem and further decreased job stability, particularly for the young people. And unfortunately, the social safety net that exists in most European countries was insufficient to help the young who lost their job or could only find those part-time jobs. I'd like to just mention a few policies that we believe could have a positive impact for young people. 1, look at the labor market. To create jobs and incentivize work, policymakers can reduce social security contributions and taxes on low-wage workers. There is discussion amongst economists. Some will say, no, you have to go beyond that. We believe that at the low-wage level, it is the most efficient. To help improve future job prospects, governments should invest in education and training. This will allow young people to close the skill gap that we have observed. Second, countries can make government spending on social protection more effective. How? Part of the answer is to actually adapt social spending, especially unemployment and non-pension benefits, to ensure that young people are better protected. Third, taxation. Since 1970, there has been a decline in wealth tax. And in some countries, not all, but in some countries, more progressive tax systems and wealth tax, including inheritance taxes, could help fund much needed social programs for younger citizens. And as I said, in the end, it is not one group, one age group against the other. Building an economy that works for young people creates a stronger foundation for everyone. Because after all, the young people are going to be the contributors to the pension schemes that are being honored at the moment. In this moment of global growth and European recovery, we have an opportunity to do the difficult things which might otherwise go undone. In Europe, one of the ways to fix the roof is by designing the policies that will help the next generation, help them reach their dream. We can help. There are tools, there are policies, there are best case stories. We can just make sure that we don't have to ask the question, what happens to a dream deferred? Thank you very much.